Hey guys, and welcome to my channel, Davina's Faith. It's Davina here, and today I'm going to be talking about what stars can mean in your dreams. So if you're interested, then stay tuned. Okay, so stars can have many different meanings. I personally don't really have dreams with stars in them, but I know there definitely has to be somebody that has had a dream with stars in them. We could think about common star symbols. Like, for example, we could think about stars like somebody that's well known or famous, like a movie star, a celebrity, a singer, a pop star. That could be one meaning of a star in a dream. We could think about the actual stars in the sky. And I have a biblical reference. Basically, it's in the book of Genesis where God speaks to Abraham about him being a descendant. And then also think about what stars do. Think about the meaning of stars, like the scientific meaning of stars, like or what they do, the characteristics of stars. Like stars shine, they're shining. There's normally many of them. A shooting star, think about the meaning of that. They don't happen very often, right? So that could be an even more rare form of a star. And then you could even do more research on what a shooting star actually is and the characteristics of a shooting star if you have that in your dream. And then, like I said, we could go back to the Bible where God uses stars as a reference, as He basically uses stars as a metaphor for Abraham and his descendants. So if we go back to Genesis 17 and 1, and I believe I'm just going to stop at the sixth verse. I'm going to leave it in the video.
And when Abram was 19 years old and 9, the Lord appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty God. Walk before me and be thou perfect. And I will make my covenant between me and thee and will multiply thee exceedingly. And Abram fell on his face, and God talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father to many nations. Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be Abraham, for a father of many nations have I made thee. And I will make thee exceeding fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee. And the angel of the Lord called unto Abraham out of heaven the second time, and said, By myself have I sworn, saith the Lord, for because thou hast done this thing, and hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, that in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of the heaven, and as the sand which is upon the seashore. And thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies, and in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice.
God had spoke to Abraham and told him, let him know that his descendants would be as great as the stars in the sky, basically saying that he wouldn't even be able to count his descendants. Like stars are incountable, or I don't know if that's the correct wording, but they cannot be counted. There's so many of them basically that you cannot even fathom. You cannot even count how many are up in the sky, just like we cannot even count how many hairs we have on our head. Um, it will take forever, and it will just be like, you wouldn't be able to get it right. The same thing with the stars in the sky. There was no way that he would be able to count them. So basically, God was just saying that you will be, to Abraham, that he would be a great man, that he would have so many descendants. He didn't have children at first. His wife Sarah was, which was first Sarai or Sarai, however you want to pronounce it. She was barren. She wasn't able to have kids at first, and then they had a child, and they even had a legitimate child, Ishmael, because they thought that the promise had to come through somebody else because they didn't have enough faith that God would make Sarah pregnant. But Sarah still even became pregnant and had their promised child, which was Isaac. And Abraham has so many descendants now. Many people come from Abraham. Basically, I'm not going to go too much into that without doing my research, but he he has so many descendants like God promised him. So that could be another reason why you can have stars in your dream. God can be trying to remind you the same way that he was reminding Abraham or telling Abraham that he would have so many descendants. If you look up into the sky and see stars, that could be a representation of descendants, like, or a promise. It could even represent a promise as well. We know that rainbows represent promises, but stars can even maybe able to represent promises too, depending on the dream, because God showed Abraham that he would have descendants. He didn't have them yet, but it was forthcoming. So that could represent a prophecy. Maybe we gotta be careful with that. In some instances, I believe that it can, depending on the dream. It can represent descendants, blessings, and of course, like I said, it could represent the obvious, a movie star, celebrity type of person. Maybe that you would be that person, or you would be like somebody that's well known. Nowadays, we have YouTube stars, like people that are being in the spotlight through YouTube and social media. So God can show you that as well, that God will use you in that type of spotlight, or use somebody that you're close to in that spotlight. So yeah, there can be so many meanings to stars. So you guys, if you have any questions about what I just spoke on, or if you had a dream that had stars in them and you want a little bit of help, feel free to leave any questions or comments down in the comment section down below. As always, I thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and do not forget to subscribe for more content like this. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.